What's up, mortgage coach community? Dave Savage sitting down with Jason Mitchell, the epitome of the modern real estate professional. What's up?
Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for having me on again. And, as we get closer and closer in our relationship too, it's so funny because you start to see how connected this space is. I saw you with Sammy Parker and, obviously your good friend, Renee Rodriguez. I saw all you guys together, but it is interesting how tight this space gets and the great people that we have within our business in the industry.
Yeah, well, it's all about great people, and it's all about being better. We're going to have this conversation around what does it mean to be a modern agent or a modern real estate professional, but it's all about people. So, and the machine is important, technology is important, but it's all about people first.
Well, it is. I mean, because without people and relationships, the machine doesn't get to be built. Now you can have a machine, but if there's nothing feeding the machine's for nothing, right? It actually gets old. And so I couldn't agree with you more. Relationships are everything in this. Because without relationships, I wouldn't be where I'm at. That's for damn sure. I mean, there's no question about that.
So Jason, I want to make this conversation valuable to the mortgage coach community in a way that they're a loan officer, they're a modern mortgage professional, and I want this to be some content that they could share with their agents and say, hey, you should listen to this call and it would make you better. So I'm going to be talking to mortgage professionals, but you're kind of like talking to realtors. This is going to be a valuable gift to both mortgage and real estate people. So one more thing on the backstory. As probably anybody who's watching this knows, we did this modern mortgage summit, and we're going to be planning and doing next month a modern real estate summit, where it's going to be the same format, only we're going to have realtors on stage, and they're going to be sharing what does it mean to be a modern agent. And Jason, you've been really helpful with this. You recommended a few folks that are on that stage, along with Steve De La Vega, my new buddy. You helped us have a partnership. But what does it mean to be a modern real estate agent in your mind?
Well, right now, it's just everything happens so quickly. And so, it depends. Like the way I look at, and that's how I always separate it. You have teams in the team model, and then you have individual agent and high power individual agent that has a few assistants around what their productivity is. But the key component nowadays is what agents and even lenders alike have to understand is that the day of loyalty from a consumer is getting diminished each and every year because everything has to happen so quickly. People want to go into homes faster. They don't want to wait. People that you've helped in the past, if you're not staying relevant in front of them, they're going on Zillow or rockethomes.com or realtor.com and they're finding their own agent. People want things now and they want it quickly. And the other thing that's changed dramatically is the means of communication, because the actual phone itself, although that is still how business gets done, it's not the way that initial discussions get done anymore. Those openings happen through periods of SMS and when is an appropriate time to call you, or using Calendarly to schedule appointments. Everything is moving so quickly right now and people have become so busy, not saying that industries become busy, it's everything around what we do on a daily basis has become busy, meaning not just the distractions, but the other things we can be doing, social media, checking 3 or 4 different social media accounts in coupled with work, virtual Zoom meetings. Time blocking and time management have become so much more critical now than they ever have before. And as we say that's everyone's problem. And so finding effective ways of communication with consumers out there, it's everything, and you have to get in front of them quickly. So I think communication has changed, and I don't think with the pandemic and COVID, everyone said all the virtual things was going to take. I don't think virtual has. People still want to walk through homes, and people still want representation. The key is staying in front of those people and being relevant when they want to go see a property again, because if not, they're going to go online and they're going to find somebody else like that. So that has absolutely changed.
So for anyone who doesn't realize the type of volume and production you do in your platform, I just want to, it's new loan officer, I want them to recognize the type of volume you do. What did you do last year and what did you do last month with your platform?
In February, we had our best month. I think we've ever had, actually. We did 173.5 million in 391 transactions, I believe we did in February. Short month too. This month, our goal is 430 transactions for 200 billion in sales. Last year, or 200 million in sales for the month of March. Last year, we closed the year. We ended up closing just over 1.4 billion.
So guys, you're talking to an iconic monster producer, and he's also done this with a modern strategy. So I think
That's
the
right.
keynote you're going to do at the Modern Mortgage Summit is going to be something around B2B. Why don't you tell everybody what the headline's going to be, and then let's talk about that, because I think that's modern agents, whether it's a lender or a loan officer, they're going beyond the transaction. And they're doing some non-traditional ways of business development. Like in the mortgage business, we're saying, hey, get to the consumer first. And we're saying, hey, build a personal brand. What are you doing? So give them your headline on what you're doing, and then let's riff on that for agents.
Well, we fell into this servicing others' clients years and years and years ago. And we built our entire system and process around it to where now, last month we received 2,950 almost 3,000 referrals from our referral partners just last month alone. We're on pace this year to do over 32,000 referrals from our national referral partners. And these partners are in a variety of areas. Our bigger ones are lenders. So servicing Rocket Homes, Rocket Mortgage, servicing Veterans United, New American Funding. We're a big partner of Zillow as well. And the list goes on and on. Axos Bank, Open Door, Bank of America. And so we've become a boots on the ground preferred real estate entity for corporations and all the marketplaces we service. We're currently located in 18 states and 52 submarkets. And so what we've done is that we've taken the model of centralization for accountability, distribution, awareness, tech, everything that we do it here in our headquarters in Scottsdale. So we have an operations team of about 18 to 20 people. And whether that's technology, marketing, onboarding, processing, you name it, everyone, has their team that they have roles and responsibilities for. And all that leads to is understanding that when it comes to businesses having a trusted real estate partner, we like to think of us as the best in the country, from our ingestion series to the way we distribute and bring awareness to our agents, to our follow-up processes, to our reporting, our BI reporting we have. Everything we do, we try to do at the highest level. But to say that now wasn't to say that 10 years ago when it was just me, that's all it was just me. I didn't have any of this stuff. It was just Jason. And what I realized is that if I went above and beyond and did a great job, I'd get more and more opportunity. And as we started to grow with these companies, one in particular really led into building our resume that we can do this at a high level, which allowed me to go out and become a bigger partner with others and grow what we have. And we've grown tremendously over the past 3 years. And so to me, my thought was, if I can do an amazing job servicing other people's clients at a corporate level, then what that means is that the abundance would be there far greater than me trying to just get referrals from the consumers themselves. And so we positioned ourselves to where now as that abundance continues to grow, not only do we receive more opportunity from the consumers that we close because we close so many, as long as we continue to hit our numbers and grow, as these companies grow, we'll inherently grow with them. And so it's been an unbelievable, unique, niche model. And now we have people coming after us that, years ago I'd say, oh my gosh, we'd love to partner with you. And now it's kind of like, well, we got to make sure it's the right fit, because when you institute technology, support, training, continuing education, everything we do when we build these customized campaigns, it's a lot of work. And so we want to make sure we do it with the right group. And, it's just got to be the right fit, because otherwise people are wasting a lot of time. And so we know the partners we have, we know what we can do, and we know sky's the limit. It's just now, making sure that the people you bring on, whether it be lender, network, whoever, that it would be a good fit and a worthwhile venture, not just for us, but for them as well too, because we have to be able to deliver. In our space, it's not really a retail play. We're really more of a consumer direct play. So we could be a trusted agent partner in the field for those that are just constantly taking applications all day long and sending them to the market. But yeah, it's an interesting niche that we're in, and we love it. It's very niche.
Yeah, it definitely is. Let's try to break this down for the typical realtor, so that they can take, they're not going to go do your model. And I think like the simplest thing someone could do, learning what you've done is to say, you know what, I'm an agent. I'm going to go out and partner with some local corporations in my local market. And I'm going to partner with some CPAs, some financial planners. What would you say is the simplest and easy way for a typical real estate agent to see what you've done and say, okay, how can I apply this to my practice and my
Well, I'll
market?
tell you, in fact, I was just doing, I just did a thing for an amazing company, by the way, and I think you know these guys, Riz Media. Just amazing people over there. Riz Media is, if not number one, top 3 real estate magazines in the USA. And I was fortunate enough in January to be on the cover of that magazine, and we talked about connection and relationships like you just talked about, right? And for me, when I was talking and describing that, it doesn't have to be this big national play when you talk B2B. When you think of B2B, there's so many ways that you can go about it. Partnering with apartment complexes to provide incentives and rewards to consumers, partnering with charities, foundations, partnering with HR directors to offer benefits and savings and rewards to their employees. The key is to have a program. And in order to have a program, you have to be willing to do the busy work to put the program together. So what does that mean? And that means that, hey, if I'm going to go out there and try to tie my wagon to employee services for X corporations, doesn't matter what corporation that is, then I need to get an invite. I need to get a meeting. But when I get the meeting, if it's about, like I always say, when I was building my career, I couldn't go a day without a title person calling me or a lender calling me or a home warranty person calling me. And the thing is that it was all the same. Can I take you to coffee and talk shop? Well, no, I'm busy. And when I did take those meetings, there was nothing special there that I looked at that said, well, you're unique and different. And that's what I would preach to any agent that wants to get involved in the space, is that if you're going to have these meetings and you're going to put together a program, make sure that first it starts with them. I think one of the things that I try to do is making sure that my partners know that it's all about them. It's not about us. What can we do to be better? What can we do to increase your business, give you more awareness, visibility? What can we do on our part? And I never led with my hand out. I led with my hands open, meaning, what am I going to do for you? And let me prove to you that I can do a great job. And if I do, then hopefully we can do business together. And I started it at a local level. I partnered with a couple attorneys, and then I partnered with a couple lenders, and it was always about, what can I do for you? And so the point is that preparation is everything to me in business, period. If you take the time to build the product and the busy work and what your program is going to consist of, you got to make sure you deliver on that. But you also have to make sure that you have a USP that people say, I haven't seen that before. I kind of like that. But it's not just about what you're going to do. It's either how it benefits their client or consumer, them, or a hybrid of both. And there's ways that we do that to where we offer these programs and products to a variety of different organizations to where everybody wins in the end. But I will tell you, the one person that everyone cares about who wins in the end is the consumer. What are we going to do to provide a better experience to the consumer? And if there's rewards and benefits along the way, great. But that experience to the consumer has to be number one.
Well, let's riff on that, and I'll do the mortgage experience and unique value prop. What is a modern mortgage professional? How do they add some unique value? And why don't you do the realtor unique value prop? And I do think doing it around an apartment complex, because let's face it, they know that people are gonna own, they're gonna go buy, or a company. At the end of the day, companies want their employees to build wealth with real estate. Companies want their employees to become homeowners. And when they are homeowners, they want them to officially and effectively manage their mortgage so that they're always saving money and have optimized debt structures and optimized real estate structures. So you do the realtor side, and then I'll do the mortgage side. So what would be a good unique value prop if I was pitching to one or both of those parties?
Well, let's take an apartment complex for an example, right? We all know that those renters at some point, hopefully, will become homeowners. And to have the ability to market, let's say you have an apartment complex that has 1,000 residents, right? In order to have an apartment complex and have a leasing entity, you have to have a license. So they already have a license, which we know that, which means that they can get offered referral fees. And so if a consumer can win and the apartment complex can win, a program would be something along the lines of, look, I will take care of providing an incentive to your current tenants when they buy with us by offering them a X amount of dollar, 20 basis points of my commission. And as any owner of an apartment complex or head of sales would say, well, that's great, but what else is there? And then you say, well, and what I'd also like to do is I can carve out a point. So you got 1 point of my commissions to play with on the front end. And what agents find themselves not understanding is that it's about, the business of real estate is about your book of business. It's about continuing to do business with more people who then can refer more people. It's not about the dollars and cents of that one transaction commission. Hell, I'll tell you right now, our average commission that we take in is roughly 2.1% because we have referral fees that we pay on the majority of stuff that we do. And so, but guess what? We'll close 5,500 transactions this year. It's a scalable model. And so when we go into these places and say, look, we will manage everything. So you gotta give them easy CTAs. So those call to actions are simple. We're going to create a marketing campaign to your tenants. So when they get their leasing statement or their rent statement on there, when you're ready to buy, we have a program for you. Follow this link and get started. You go to the link. It has a video about the program. It breaks down what their reward is and incentive is. It breaks down trust and confidence with you as a real estate professional. And when they apply, you call them, you start the process. And when it closes, you make sure that your partner at the apartment complex has some type of incentive because they're the ones that drove that consumer to you. And once you can start showing that that reward is there, the abundance of opportunity will continue to grow because the marketing efforts will continue to grow because not only are they winning, but their consumers winning as well. And you're winning because you're gaining a client. So it's about thinking outside the box with products and programs where if there's one side, two sides, three sides, how can everybody win? But how can I do this part to make it uber efficient to where the only thing that the consumer has to do is get awareness around it and make it very easy to apply. And then if you take that notion and you'd say apartment complex, well, I can do it for HRs too. I can do it for companies as well. I can offer benefits and rewards to employees.
Hey, before we go to the employees, let's do it two-step. I'm going to give the mortgage coach community how a modern mortgage professional would support that strategy. And then let's do the corporate.
Yeah, sure.
And then we'll wrap it up. So guys, I think a great example for me to lean on when showing how should a modern mortgage professional support an apartment complex, it's all about rent versus own. And while there is going to be some boundaries, they're not going to want to be like, hey, people that we have in leases, we want to get them to buy homes. So I don't know where this will come in, but Denise did a great job at the Modern Mortgage Summit where she did a rent versus own, and she, beautiful branding. She's got her picture, but she's going beyond the transaction. She's saying, hey, you're renting. Here's what you're paying. Here's some different purchase prices that are a potential move up. So she's giving them options. And then she's showing them what that means to their monthly cash flow. And she's showing that graphically, net monthly payments. But then she's saying, hey, what does that look like over 60 months? And most importantly, usually when people are owning, what does that mean to your net worth? What does that look like? So that family can make a clear decision around this is what it means to me monthly. This is what it means to me transactionally. And this is what it looks for me over time. So, and then the other thing, like not only are they helping that family get into homeownership and build net worth, they're helping the agent. At the end of the day, I think today's modern loan officers, every loan officer needs to close loans on times, needs to know product guidelines, needs to know how to get people into homeownership. But to me, the modern mortgage professional needs to go beyond that, and they need to create urgency and clarity for home buyers so that the realtor is getting a well-prepared home buyer that's going to make the offer necessary to get the home they want. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I couldn't agree more. You mentioned something that, well, every loan officer does that. And I go back to that as a realtor too. I go back to that in listing presentations. Like if you're bringing just a CMA and then your listing toolkit, like you and everybody else. So what is it about you that makes you different, right? Same thing when it comes to lending. And when you have that type of stuff, the educational stuff, the stuff that is so clean and easy to follow, then it just simply adds to me a psychological credibility within your expertise, where a consumer just has a more comfortability level of working with you. That's why when I talk about real estate, when we talk about going on listing appointments, I always talk about timeline strategy. An agent's like, well, what's timeline strategy? And the timeline strategy is the alternative if we don't sell your home in the first 14 days. So here's my marketing presentation. This is everything that we do. Now you're going to see a lot of traditional stuff in there: social media marketing, email marketing, postcard marketing, all that stuff. But what the next agent that comes through the door, because I'm sure you're going to speak to somebody just besides me, this is what I have that they don't have. And this is my timeline strategy. So at 30 days, if we're still on the market, this is how we're going to repurpose your listing. This is how we're going to reactivate it to the marketplace. This is the suggested list price reduction because we've been on for 30 days. And we're going to do the same in 60 or 90. Now, I hope we don't get to that point. But if we do, rest assured that our contingency plan is in place from day one. And if you have that, that means that when no one else has that, and you put that to the consumer to say, now, when the next agent comes and shows you their listing presentation, ask them what their strategy is if my home doesn't sell. And if they don't have an answer for you, or the answer that they give you is just your typical, well, we'll kind of circle the wagons, they're out. That's where I come into play. I know exactly what we're going to be doing starting 30 days from now if your home doesn't sell. And guess what? That's just being different. That's being unique. So, I think in this day and age, you have to position yourself as somebody different and bring different value props.
Well, I love two things you said that are different, and it reminded me of an interview that I did last week with a former Navy SEAL. He was the commander of SEAL Team 4, and he was a 12-year FBI agent. And he had this planning structure, and it was called SMAC. And one of the two most important things that he did was contingency planning, which everybody else doesn't do, and a communication plan. And then it sounds like you've laid out your communication plan, you've laid out a contingency plan, and then you've got another communication plan. So let's wrap up with the value prop for a employee benefits program or an HR person. What would that be like for you? And then I'll show you a modern mortgage professional strategy.
Yeah, for me, look, everything today's day and age, I don't care what anybody says. You can go on to websites and products and programs. Everyone's offering listing discounts and all this other stuff. Where you find it that you don't find a lot is on the buy side. And so for employee benefits, we put together a package to where whether you're buying or selling or both, you're rewarded downstream for any services that we assist you with down the road. And so if we go to, directors of HR and places that can bring awareness, like the key is without awareness, everything is for nothing. And so if people aren't aware of your program, you might as well not have a program. And that's where we need help from the partnerships, is to bring that awareness. But in order to bring the awareness, you got to build the assets. So you got to build the landing page. You got to put the link together. You got to put, the hard assets together, the video together. So people say, oh, I like this. So they can have something to market. And when you do that and you sit down and you have, for us, we have, I don't even know how many decks that we have. So we have presentation decks and videos on what we do and why we're different. And so when people look at that, we also show examples of what they're going to see along the way, along that process. And that's what helps separate us. But in the end, the consumer has to win, or the employee has to win. So what are we willing to provide them on a program to where they do get benefits and rewards? I firmly believe benefits and rewards is everything in this business moving forward. And if you can stay on top of that at a local level, all that means is you're going to close more business. And for those that are afraid to give up a little bit of their commissions in order to secure many more clients, I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you what, I'd rather make 2.1% on 100 clients and make 3% on 10. Because the key to real estate is your book of business. And growing that book of business by being able to provide an experience to somebody where they can send their friends and family to you, of which at point maybe there isn't a rewards program for that, right? then it just all comes full circle. But products and programs is everything.
I love what you just said, and tell me how this resonates. So if you are in charge of HR and you know that people that own homes are going to be better employees and they're going to be better off, you want to have the service of a rent versus own. Now, would you rather have a family just get a transaction, or would you rather have them get an experience? And here's another one, move ups. We know in 2020 that equity won. Everybody's got more equity right now. People are looking at moving up. This is a great example of a loan officer in not quite your market, but in Chandler, Arizona, where there was a family that was saying, hey, should we refinance? And we could refinance and save some money, or should we move up? Now, this particular family qualified for 5% down on a move up home. So almost $100,000 more in value than the home they're in. It got the bedroom, extra bedroom they wanted in the school district that they wanted. And at 5% down, their payment would have gone up $507. Clarity. Now, they had equity. They had $125,000 in equity, which is less than the national average. I think the national average is now $188,000. It went from 150 in 2019 to 188 in 2020. So they had 125,000 equity. And she said, hey, you could buy that new home, non-contingent, keep your home. After you close, sell it, take the equity, pay it towards your principal, and recast your mortgage. So you could actually get your lifestyle and lower your payment by $164. By the way, there are hundreds of thousands of families that qualify, that could actually move up and lower their payment, and they don't know it. Now, what this family decided to do is they said, you know what, we can handle the extra $507 a month, but we would love to have, coming through COVID, we would love to have more money liquid. And so they were earning 8%, and they did a forecast that, hey, if we just got 6% and we put that 120 in an interest-bearing account, look what happens to their net worth. So guys, if you are in charge of HR, do you want your families getting a transaction from a loan officer, or do you want your families getting mortgage advice from a modern mortgage professional? Trust me, guys, you want your families getting advice from a modern mortgage professional that can give them options and make these financial planning decisions clear. And then, of course, all you modern realtors listening to this, you got a listing, you got a move up buyer. This is how a modern mortgage professional operates. Would you agree?
Well, it goes back to having the tools. Like, that's why Mortgage Coach is Mortgage Coach gives you the tools and ability to be that modern mortgage person. And I don't say this just because we're friends. I say that because look at that. What, are you just going to send somebody a GFE and, hey, take a look at this and do this? And yeah, but let me pencil this out for you. That's not professional. It's crystal clear. But it's not just about your payment. It's about your future. And on a click of a button, I get to show you your future as to why, like, you truly become a financial expert, not just a loan officer. I mean, a loan officer is a loan officer. A financial expert is somebody that, as you have shown, that, hey, you're automatically trusted because I know what I'm doing. By the way, let me show you this. Oh, yeah. Well, that's a great tool. That's a great feature. Can you show me this? Oh, yeah. Hold on one second. Boom, boom, boom. Blah, blah. Like, if that's you and the other loan officer is just going off, well, let me send you an email and break it down for you. Which one are you going to choose? I mean, come on, give me a break.
And which one's a service? Like, if you're trying to get a corporate relationship, it's all about turning transactional things into services. And just like a contingency plan, that's a service. That's a benefit. So
100%.
So we're going to be doing this Modern Real Estate Summit. There'll be a link down below if you want to sign up, or you can just go to modernrealestatesummit.com, sign up today. It is April 7th. So check that out. Jason is going to be doing a keynote, an 18-minute keynote on what do you think the headline should be for your keynote?
Well, I want to talk about, I do want to talk about mastering B2B, but building the strategy around it, meaning, the engine. So the systems, the processes, the tech needed, the support that comes along the way, like really becoming super, super efficient in your business.
So if you have specific questions and you want him to build into his keynote, he's also going to do a couple how-to videos, 3 to 5 minute presentations on just, I don't know what, how to create a campaign in your CRM. We'll figure out what that is, but if you have questions or things you want him to cover, put it down below. Jason, if anyone wants to connect with you, I know you also have some type of training platform out there. What are the best ways people can learn more from you?
Well, we have a full-blown training platform. It's macrolistings.com. So there's that side of it, and that's really deep, and it's, I mean, there's a lot in macro. But then I also have my audio course coming out on, it was supposed to be out last week, but it'll be out like March 15th is what they're telling me. And as part of being part of your network, Dave, we're offering it for $197. It's 9 hours of content. We go 8 weeks, each 5 days a week, and it's all mindset. It's the critical path of sales. It's psychology. It truly is all encompassing, and also the book that comes with that too. And so for $197, you got 9 hours of plus content. You got some stories that I have per topic, and then you'll have the book as well. But it's awesome. And that one, if you pre-register, we have the discount on there for $197. It's 40dayblueprint.com. The name of the book is called Mastering the Psychology of Real Estate, Your 40-Day Blueprint to Making Millions. So the website is 40dayblueprint.com. And honestly, Dave, I don't care if you're in mortgage or you're in real estate. This is not just real estate specific. There's a lot of mindset stuff in this. So, and I also think for loan officers and lenders alike out there, that I think it gives you some good insight on the real estate space, some deep stuff, and also the part of our critical path of sales, and understanding your positives versus your negatives and things like that. So it's great. 40dayblueprint.com is that site.
Love it, man. So, hey, you guys got lots of value for all you mortgage coaches out there. Share this with a real estate agent. Team up together to go after some large apartment complexes in your marketplaces. Team up together to go after some large companies and HR directors. It is a modern strategy. Any closing thoughts before we wrap it?
Just appreciative, Dave. You're always, I love you. Always stay in touch with me, man. You're always checking in on me, seeing how I'm doing. I appreciate you so much, and I'm really looking forward to the event. And again, just thanks for being a good friend, man.
All right, appreciate you, brother. Have an awesome day. This call is a wrap. If you got value, give it a like, share it, not only with your mortgage friends, but with your real estate partners. Take care,
Thanks, Dave.
everybody.